is going on, guys? It is Chris back with 605 Brew Reviews, coming at you with another beer review. Once again, we have a guest on the show today, Kyle, and Kyle was kind enough to bring this beer by and crack it open for this review. So, thank you.
Not a problem.
Your generosity is appreciated.
I can't let you provide everything.
Why don't you
chip in a little bit while I can?
Why don't you go right in and explain what we have here?
Well, today we have a Backwoods Bastard. It is the 5th beer in Founders Barrel Age series for 2017. Scotch ale or wee heavy, depending on which description you read. We are 11.2% for this one. Doesn't have IBUs on it, so not entirely sure. If I looked on the website, it'd probably have something just listed on there. But you're getting a lot of the aromas of single malt scotch, a little bit of smoke, a little caramel, just the standard things you'd expect out of a scotch ale. Plus, I'm pretty sure a decent amount of booze coming out of it too.
So, I guess one question I have for you before we crack this one.
Yeah.
Have you ever had this beer before?
I have not. I have had none of the Backwoods Bastard. Actually, other than KBS last year, I was pretty limited in the Founders Barrel Age series at all. And this year, up to this point, I have had all 5 of the ones that have been released. So I'm waiting on number 6 for the series. And then I can say I've tried everything for the year.
So I will say I've tried this beer in previous years and really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to this. Let's go ahead and crack this open, get it into a glass. We'll let you guys know what it looks like, smells like, tastes like, give you our final verdict on the Founders Backwoods Bastard 2017. Alright, sir, so the appearance, Founders Backwoods Bastard. I'll let you do the honors.
Thank you.
Nice hiss when you cracked that open.
It's the advantage of it bouncing around a little bit in your pocket while you're walking.
I think you need to take a little more of that. That's pretty full still.
Well, trying to be generous to you. I'm going to go a little heavier, and then whatever's left over.
One thing I'll say, guys, real quick on Founder stuff. I've always really thought their attention to detail in their packaging was kind of cool. I don't know if you could see that, but they put this foil inlay that says Barrel Age Series on the label. They also put that under the caps on their barrel age beers. I've just always thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Not something you see very often.
Another part, if you ever find any out of the series, you'll always see they have the Barrel Age logo on the back side too, and what year they came out. On some of the older KBSs, I know you weren't able to find that.
No.
But they started doing that, and it's actually become really handy for the people who like to get multiple year variants of them and just let them sit for a while.
Yeah, it's nice for cellaring purposes. You kind of know what you're sitting on. But
then you don't have to guess.
Exactly. Looking at this beer, I don't know how well you guys can see that. I get kind of a, it is dark, but there's like a mahogany outline there, holding it up to the light. You definitely see those highlights.
I would actually say in comparison, you could put it to about the color of the empty bottle. It's pretty much how the beer looks coming out of there. So
kind of that dark caramel amber color.
Yeah.
Again, I poured pretty aggressively. I got about a half finger of kind of a espresso colored head. It is pretty rocky. The bubbles on the surface are nice and uniform. Swirling it around, you do get some alcohol legs. Be expected with a beer this high ABV. Let's go ahead and get you guys an aroma on the Founders Backwoods Bastard.
If you haven't been able to tell from the fact that we're still in the same apparel, we might be on a couple different ones of these tonight, so things might be getting a little crazy.
Ooh. Yum.
Oh yeah, smells good.
So you definitely get some of that bourbon,
Yep.
a rich whiskey note. I would say the second thing for me is kind of like a dark fruit, but also like a caramel.
I agree on the caramel. I don't get as much of the dark fruit right away.
I don't know if it's the barrel or if it's something else, but I get kind of like a vanilla tinge in there as well. Or like a coconut. Sometimes I get that with like bourbon barrel aged beers.
The vanilla might be coming from the caramel itself, so.
Just kind of a creamy, earthy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's subtle, but it's definitely there. So.
Yeah. Don't get a whole lot of that aroma from like single malt scotch. You get a little bit of the earthy, but you're not getting a whole lot of peaty aroma or anything like that.
No, not real smoky or anything like that. All right, let's go ahead, dig in, get you guys a flavor on the Founder's Backwoods Bastard. Well, you brought this one over. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are the other 3 bottles might not make it till 2018 release. No, you get a little bit of that scotch flavor coming out. I get the caramel notes. I get a little bit of that dark fruit note that you were talking.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, a little hint of the bourbon barrel flavor, but really smooth overall. Good flavorful product.
I would agree. Up front, let me take one more sip here. That's really good though.
It is. And this has been sitting for all of a month. This was bottled on 10/12, and I purchased this about a week and a half ago now. So it hasn't been sitting around long, and it's already got this flavor.
So for me up front, I would say I do get that scotch flavor that you were talking about, kind of an aggressive. There is actually a little bit of peat in the taste.
The flavor, yeah.
And almost like a whiskey. I don't want to say astringency because it's not harsh, but you get that kind of punch you in the face with whiskey. Then for me, it kind of transitions to caramel, almost like a dried cherry type of flavor for that dark fruit.
Yeah.
And then dries out with like an earthy character, and I'm thinking that's the oak.
Yeah.
But just really nice how it kind of lingers on the palate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of surprised for as big of a beer this is. It really kind of dries out at the end, makes you want to take another sip.
Yeah. Deceptive point of this beer. It wants you to keep drinking. It doesn't want you to drink it slowly.
And really, I mean, while you do get a lot of those whiskey notes, I wouldn't say this is boozy at all.
No, it's not overpowering. I mean, you can see that alcohol leg effect coming up on the side of the glass still.
Yep.
So you can tell there's still plenty in there.
All right, guys. So going into our final verdict on the Founder's Backwoods Bastard 2017. Kind of like I did on the rest of this, I'll defer to you since you brought this beer. I'm interested to see what you'd give it.
I'm going to go with about an A- on this one. It was really impressive. I wasn't quite sure what to expect going into it, but I'm really happy with the final product that's coming out.
I would say this is an A or A-. I'll just settle on an A- beer for me. I think with a little bit of age, though, it's really going to attenuate those flavors and kind of smooth it out.
I would love for us to do this one again in about 6 months and see what's happened to it then.